Like, life is never going to go as planned, right? I mean, how many times have we had different jobs and like they didn't work out, or I've switched my career now 3 times. On my third career, took me 8 years to graduate college. Thought I was going to be a Marine forever. Thought I was going to be a cop forever. Now I think I'm going to be a therapist.
At your age, what are you doing now that you never thought you'd be doing?
Definitely working with the foster kids that I'm doing the work right now with. I'm just like not being a police. I thought I was going to be a police officer forever. I just thought that was like my calling and I was never going to stop that. But doing the type of work that I'm doing now is something I never thought I was going to do. I used to honestly like hate working with kids and like hate going to the calls with kids. Like, I just think they were like spoiled. I probably in my 20s, I just didn't really have patience for them. When I used to go to calls with kids, probably sounds bad, but now I just like feel like it's definitely my calling. In their, they remind me so much of myself. I feel like it's something I was like destined to do because I wish there was somebody, I guess, more like me when I was their age.
So, what is it about working with kids now that you didn't really feel when you were a cop?
I think what I never gave enough like time or consideration into it when I was a cop, because like when you're a cop, you don't have enough time. You're just like, I don't have enough time for this bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, some kids skip school, their parents call the cops because the kid skipped school with a gun on them or whatever. It's Charleston, so 15, 16-year-olds have guns on them. You're just like, this is bullshit, this is the parents' fault. And you don't care enough to dig deeper into like what the actual issue is. And then now working with them, you find out like kids are sexually assaulted or the parents are dead, or like there's so much deeper issues than they're not just like spoiled brats. They're not just not getting what they wanted from their mom, things like that. And that's kind of like, I don't know if I was just being influenced by other cops who had I had been like kind of raised up that way in the police community, and maybe just the people I've been around now in the foster world who are able to tell me like, well, this is the background of the kid. They've been sexually abused since they were 5, or they've been giving drugs since they were 8 years old to keep them quiet. Some of the things they've been through, and you're like, wow, these kids need like help. They need understanding, and they need like somebody to be like, it's okay. Like, I'm gonna get you through this and figure out what works and what doesn't work to try to get them on that path and give them a second chance, and to teach them like, you're not dumb. Because maybe if somebody had said those things to me, wouldn't have taken me 8 years to graduate college. I don't know.
Was there a specific moment you kind of realized that, hey, maybe policing is not for me anymore, and this career path is more my speed?
Well, yeah. I don't know if there was a specific moment. I would say it was a bunch of different moments, for sure. I think that policing in general, when I first started out, I kind of like was very ignorant to a lot of like the things that were going on in policing that were out of my control, like higher ups as far as that goes. And then once I got promoted, I realized like I was so ride or die for my guys, and I was like willing to fight for them no matter what. And, like as an FTO training the new guys first starting out, I wanted to like, why are they getting in trouble for this? This is stupid. I would have done this. I didn't get in trouble for this, or and now they're getting it. And it seemed like certain people got targeted and certain people didn't. I didn't understand why, because they didn't say the right things or do the right things. There's favoritism, things like that. And that started to get to me, and then my mouth got me in trouble, right? As it always has in my life. Because I'm always gonna like stand up for what I believe is right. And I've always gotten in trouble for being insubordinate because it's just me standing up for myself or other people I care about. So yeah, I don't know. I think as time went on, I realized there's no way for me to advance in policing. I don't think there's any way for somebody who has like a mind of their own to advance in policing, to be honest.
Just lock in, rank and file, right?
Yeah, I think if you have the type of personality where you're going to stand up for others and you are not a yes man, you're not going to be able to advance in that line of work. especially maybe you'll get to sergeant, but I just don't feel like that can happen. You have to see things that you don't agree with and be quiet and shut up and stand in line. I think it's probably similar in the military. I wasn't in long enough to say so, but I think that, they say all the good people get out. I don't know if that's true, but, I think it's very similar in the policing world. There's people who I've looked at who I respected that are lieutenants, female lieutenants, let's say, where they know that males are like sexually harassing women or doing horrible things or just in general. And I'm like, well, we got to do something. Like, we got to say something. And they're just like, keep your mouth shut. What are you doing? Calm down. And I'm like, you're a woman. You're in this, and then it starts to kind of click. And I think that was more like policing. And then, I think it just kind of shifted towards therapy in general. I was like, okay, I want to go towards therapy. There's major issues in mental health because almost every call that I went to with the public was deep-rooted in mental health. If it's drugs, it goes back to mental health, right? Like all the calls involving veterans, mental health, kids acting out, it's because of some sort of mental health. So I knew I still wanted to do something with the public. And I wanted to do something where I still felt like I had a meaning. So I was like, okay, I want to do something in mental health. And then I, just found the job with Foster and really liked it. So I was like, fuck, maybe I have all my problems because I was a fucked up kid with mental health. Maybe I could do something to help them,
Wow. So before policing, before all that stuff, what did you think you were going to be when you grew up?
Well, like in middle school, I thought I was going to be Britney Spears' backup dancer. Saw my 8th grade yearbook.
How'd that turn out?
Not really good at dancing, actually, so I don't know why I thought that. No, I always knew I was going to do like something patriotic. I watched The Patriot in 3rd grade with Mel Gibson. My dad let me watch it when my mom was at home, and I was knew I was going to join the military. I was very love my country. So I think I thought something that, and then it was always something with the military. And then, I thought I was going to go be a drill instructor and something badass and cool like that.
So tell me about when you joined the military. What did you want to be? What was your MOS?
So I joined on open contract. They got me.
Oh.
My recruiter told me that the females, so I joined in 2011, my junior year of high school. My recruiter was like, girls can't do combat MOSs, but they're about to sign to let females do that. Mind you, they didn't sign until 2016. So this is 2011. And I was very physically fit at that age. I could do 20 pull-ups. I could do the male equivalent of what they needed infantry guys. I was stupid though, because I'm 5'1" and 78 pounds. That was never gonna happen. But in my head, I'm 17 years old. So I was like, okay. And he was like, listen, just sign on an open contract. And because you can pass everything, you have a good shot. You have a good shot. So, I'm like, okay. And in boot camp, I have girls from boot camp that'll tell you on Sundays, when you have that open time to do what you want, you could pray or whatever, I was doing pull-ups because I was like, when I get out of here, I'm gonna be an infantry. I'm gonna be one of the first females in the infantry. And then they tell you your MOS and they're like, warehouseman. And I was like, what is that? So yeah, I unloaded boxes off of the truck.
Sounds amazing.
For 10 hours a day, Camp Pendleton.
Camp Pendleton?
Yes, yeah.
So Marine Corps wasn't working out great. I mean, what happened that changed your path within the military itself?
So yeah, I had a horrible experience in the military. Not for me. Not a good time at all. It was, as far as it's crazy because I had a drill instructor that told me this in boot camp, this is the easiest thing about the Marine Corps. And I remember us being like, this shit sucks. There's no, and she was right. Boot camp is the easiest, anybody that's going in the Marine Corps, boot camp's the easiest shit, right? Especially if you're physically fit. If you go in physically fit, And I always played sports growing up. So like I got, what do you call that? Like when you're in a sandpit, what is that? Like IT'd
Yeah.
all the time, right? Because I like rolled my eyes. I'm like a New Jersey girl, like fuck this shit. And it was fine because I was physically fit. MCT, fine. Everything, a breeze. I was a great shot. Never shot a gun in my life, but I was a great shot somehow, right? And like none of that was hard for me. But the barracks fucking hated it. It was like just not a lot of females. You know, it was like you'd go do your laundry and the guys would be like, you know, just like horrible. You felt like you were just like a piece of meat. And when you come from like a small town, you're not used to that kind of behavior, I think. And it was just it was a lot. And I had a sergeant who got caught peeping Tom me to start off. He was like in his 30s. My roommate caught him like looking through the window. He would like blow up my phone. He would lie, say everybody's going out from the platoon to go like to an outing. Since you don't have a car, I'll come pick you up. And then he'd come pick me up, and we'd like go somewhere, and it would just be us two. I'd be like, "Where's everybody else at?" Like that type of behavior. And this guy's like, I'm just barely 18. I'm a kid, really, and he's 36 or something like that. And like it was just weird behavior. This weird. Couldn't get away from it. And then, I finally meet a guy that I think I'm in love with. And at the time, bath salts and, the gas station drugs are big. This is probably now like 2014. So, because they show up in drug tests. So everybody in the military was doing like these gas, remember in Florida when people were getting their faces eaten off by like bath salts? Yeah. And so he had gotten back from a deployment and he was like fucked up in the head. He's an older guy. I'm gonna protect you from your creepy sergeant. Like, and so he was domestically abusive. So now I'm like in this barracks. You've got this creepy sergeant. I think I'm in love, right? Because it's like my first real relationship. This guy's get high and then he's beating me up. I'm like, this is such a shitty situation. So the cops come one night because he's like trying to run me over. It's a whole thing, right? So they moved me to a new, like, they're in the battalion, but in a different company for my safety. And so I go to a different thing, and then some guys get drunk and they sexually assault me. And they knock me out and get a TBI and my teeth get knocked out and everything. And then of course the military's just done with me at that time. They're just like, all right, you've already got this situation where you already had this incident now where and now this happens to you. Like, what's actually, like, I'm the problem, right? 2 incidents now, you look like you're the problem in their eyes, which I guess is fair. As a cop looking back at it, I'd be like, this girl 2 times in 6 months, she's been a victim, which is wrong, but that is how cops talk about it. And I wouldn't look at it because I'd be like, hey, anything can happen with my situation. But when you're a girl and you're whatever, it happens.
So how did that make you feel? I mean, you went into the Marine Corps with, the best of intentions to be somewhat patriotic and do something good for your country, and then this happens to you. I mean, how did you feel?
No, I mean, I felt horrible, and I blame myself. When I got out, I didn't apply for any benefits. I didn't do anything. I went home. I had horrible depression. My mom couldn't get me out of bed. My parents put me in an intensive outpatient program. It was like one of those where you don't sleep there, but you go every day type thing. Because I couldn't get out of my bed. It was like my parents didn't know what to do with me. I did feel like it was my fault because the Marine Corps made me feel like that. Like it was just like, oh, well, they just, I don't know, they made me feel like it was my fault. Well, were you drunk? Are you sure that you weren't drunk? Like when the assault happened, like that's how they were talking to me, the police, when everything happened. And I'm like, I was completely sober. These guys did this to me. And it's like, oh, well, and then it would go back to the domestic incident and it'd be like, well, he said that you started it. And it's like, now it's like I was with this older guy who was a higher rank right before that. He made me sound crazy. and it's the same police are going to be investigating this sexual assault. So it's like, it just made me look crazy. Not to mention the fact that everyone in my small hometown is like, we just had this going away party for you a few years ago and you're back already. What happened? So, I really wasn't even telling people. I didn't feel like I was a veteran. I never got to deploy, So it's like, yeah, I didn't get any benefits. I didn't do anything. I didn't use my GI Bill because I didn't feel like I was worth it. I didn't feel like I deserved it. And I finished the intensive outpatient program, and then I started to compete, and I found a trainer at a gym, actually, and that's kind of what changed my life around completely.
How did that experience change how you saw yourself when you got out?
Yeah, I think I just felt like, I was completely suicidal, but I think I just felt like there's definitely something wrong with me. I was not I was not worthy of, I was crazy and I'm not worthy of love. And because, we're thinking about at first I had experienced already this very intense domestic back and forth relationship with a guy that I thought that I was in love with. And I really did. I wanted to save him. And he had this really horrible PTSD issues. He really did. And I felt horrible for what he was going through, especially when he was high. But then on the sexual assault side, when you get sexual assaulted, the parts that I could remember, because I was hit in the head, so there's a lot of parts I didn't remember from when I woke up. But that part also played a little heavy on me because I kind of felt more disgusting and used. So I went through just a total, I don't know, redefining myself and who I was. I used to feel like a badass when I first went in, I could do anything, I'm so tough. And then I just felt like I'm just this weak woman. Now I'm out of the Marine Corps. My friends are all away at college. I think I came back and I started doing a little bit of more experimenting with drugs and kind of trying to forget about everything that happened. And I just felt like a loser, really.
What did you have to let go of? To move past that?
I had to let, I think it took years to figure out what to let go of. I think I'm still finding out what to let go of. And it's been a decade. I think when it comes to sexual assault, there's times when, you don't ever really let go of it. It lives with you forever, But it's more about figuring out what can help you get through the day, right? Your vices, I guess, good vices. Is there such thing as good vices?
Sure.
Like the gym and people that make you feel better, things that make you feel better. Yeah.
What feels most like you now? It sounds like you have a new identity from all that experience. What would define you a little bit more about who you are today?
Definitely channeling my energy into other people, not just people that I care about, but just people in general. If I do something it probably sounds corny, or this sounds like an interview answer, but it is true. If I do something good to the world, I feel like it just makes me feel better, right? So for a while, when I was trying to figure out what career to do, I was like, okay, well, maybe once I'm done being a cop, I'll be a lawyer or whatever. And then I realized I don't know if that is really gonna make me feel good every day. I need to find a job that I can feel good every day. And that's why when I was a cop, unless there was a call that I felt like I could do something good every day, which is a hit or miss, then it didn't work out, right? So if there was a call where there was a domestic violence call, for let's just say, and the woman was got beat up, and I was able to get her out of there, and I was able to get her into a shelter, and she was able to look at me and say thank you, you saved my life, or you actually helped me, and I could follow up with her. That's something that gets me. So I knew that whatever career I had, even if it's a career what I chose now, there's not much money in it, right? But it's something that makes me feel good every day. I'm not going to go into business or something like that because that's not going to make me feel good. And this is something that like it can make me feel good. So I guess it has to make me feel good for other people.
So what would you say younger people would misunderstand about this stage of your life? I mean, if you think of yourself back in a younger version of you, you probably thought something was a bigger deal
Yeah.
than it is now. I mean, what would you say that would be?
I think, like, for me and what my foster kids always say is, or teens, is they say, like, they think everything is for a paycheck, right? They think everything that adults do is for a paycheck or, like, that we don't care and that it's all for show. And I'm always like, it's really not, right? We do things. There's a lot of reasons we do things, right? Like, maybe I'm trying to make up for mistakes that I've made, or you're trying to make up for mistakes that you've made, or relive things for ourselves in our past. I don't know. But I do wish that I had more time or listened to more like adults in the past who told me like I should have never dated that guy, right? Like I shouldn't have thought that I could save that guy. I probably would have been in a different situation. I might still be in the Marine Corps today. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know.
What would you want people to understand about rebuilding when life doesn't go as planned?
What do you want people to understand about rebuilding? Keep going. I think. You know, there's been a lot of times where like, yeah, life is never gonna go as planned, right? I mean, how many times have we had different jobs and like they didn't work out, or I've switched my career now 3 times. On my third career, took me 8 years to graduate college. Thought I was gonna be a Marine forever. Thought I was gonna be a cop forever. Now I think I'm gonna be a therapist. Get back with me in a couple of years, maybe. Maybe I'll switch again. I don't know. You know, you just got to keep going and keep trying. You know, life is too short to. I don't know. You know, you never know what could happen. You meet the love of your life in 6 months. You could find the career you want. And everything could change.
Bree, I mean, what you've shared is amazing. You're an amazing person.
Thanks.
You've overcome a lot of things that I think a lot of people probably wouldn't have come out so well on the other side, and you powered through it. And
Thank you.
now I guess your gift to the world is you're helping others through your experiences, and I think that's truly something special. So,
Thank you.
thank you.